Hi there, I'm Christine with What's Up Cupcake Whimsical Crafts, and welcome to my channel. I have a bunch to catch up with you on today as I am back, no longer jet lagged, and ready to roll with market prep. And that has taken a slightly unexpected turn, but we will get into that in a minute. So while you're here, grab a beverage or a project to work on, and let's catch up. All right, iced coffee in hand, ready to go. So if you're new here, What's Up Cupcake is my small craft business where I focus on crochet plushies and accessories that kind of revolve around crochet plushies. So I make amigurumi sticks, stitch markers, hand-painted safety eyes, and I have those in an Etsy shop, as well as I do markets out and about in Raleigh. All right, I had to pause for a second because my child was running across the house screaming for his father. I love crafts, and I tend to dabble in quite a few of them, but crochet plushies is where I've really honed in for the sake of local markets and online sales, my shop. So today I wanted to talk through a few things that I've been working on this week. My last couple of videos you may have seen, I just got back from a vacation in Japan, which was amazing. And I did a little bit of a recap 2 videos ago. My last video was a stationery haul of the things that I bought for my journaling addiction. Let's just call it what it is. And I do have more videos coming from that trip, so my crochet business and plushies and everything will be like the main videos I do at the beginning of the week, and then I'll have videos that kind of alternate later in the week that may not always be as on topic onto the crochet projects that I'm doing, but will be more so craft related or things that I'm obsessed with that entertain me while I'm crafting. So anyways, this video though, we are going to go through the stuff that I did this week as I got back into the swing of things for market prep. My plan is, it has been to take the summer off from markets with the exception of a market at the end of August. But I think my last market was at the very beginning of May, and I have not had a market since because I really wanted to just focus on building up my inventory for the fall market season. It is a lot for one person to crochet, getting ready for that. And I have some pretty big markets that I'm hoping to get into. A lot of the markets that I applied for, they don't tell you whether or not you got in until maybe 2 months before the market itself. So that's the only thing that's not great, is that I kind of have to wait to find out what my actual schedule is going to be. But I did apply to a lot of markets knowing I wouldn't get into each of them. That being said, I was having a little bit of market FOMO from everyone posting about markets and, sharing their experiences, results, highs and lows, given it's the summer and, it's really hot for some people, so people aren't coming out to shop, or they're in areas that get lots of storms, so they're getting rained out. But for some reason I was like, oh, I miss that uncertainty. So I applied for a couple of markets recently that are in August, in addition to the one that I have committed to already. And I threw my name in. I was like, if it happens, it happens. It'll be great. I didn't get into either of them. So I was kind of bummed. But then also, this goes back to like my original plan. I was trying to get ahead of things. So I wasn't beating myself up about it. But, part of me was like, oh, I miss doing markets. Even though like I get so much anxiety when I'm going into a market. I am very introverted, and I just have like lots of conversations in my head with myself as I'm preparing, like, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough inventory, or am I going to have things that people like? Are there going to be a bunch of other crocheters there and people want my stuff because they like everyone else's or whatever? I just like chatter. I do enjoy markets in general. Like, I love shopping a market. I love wandering around craft markets. So being in one is really exciting too. And I kind of hoped I was going to get into one of those two markets, especially because they just sounded like really fun and exciting opportunities. But I didn't get into either of them. So I got back from Japan at almost midnight on Sunday of this past week. And I took Monday off from work, my day job, so that I could, like, I knew I'd be jet lagged, and I was. I actually woke up at 6 a.m., bright eyed, bushy tailed, ready to go. And by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was a zombie. But that being said, I got a ton done. I was just really amped up to get back into crocheting because I hadn't crocheted for pretty much the entirety of my trip and I'd missed it. I had been picked for a pattern test, which I'll get to in this video. I was just excited to do business stuff. I had received a bunch of packages while I was out that I'd ordered from various manufacturers ahead of my trip so that when I got back, they would hopefully have arrived, which they did. And I was able to make a bunch of stitch markers and sewing sticks with all of that stuff. So it was just really fun and filling that like crafty need that I had. So that was a great day on Monday. And then I was back to the grind on Tuesday and through the rest of the week. However, we had planned on going on a camping trip that we had booked long before I even planned on going to Tokyo. And we have a little camper. And so we were going to go to Charleston for the weekend and just do a little camping long weekend. And as I was in Tokyo and I was talking to my husband, he was like, you know, we're having a heat wave here, whatever. It's really hot. And I was like, yeah, same. Tokyo is having a heat wave. And he said, you know, you've been gone for a while. Do you still want to go camping when you get back? And I was like, of course I do. Well, like the day before I left, I had been on this trip for 9 days at that point, and I was like, I just miss home. I miss my bed. I had a great time. I just wanted to be home and decompress. And so I was thinking about it and realized we could still cancel the trip and not be out like the cost of it. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's have a weekend home. And I've been gone for a long time. The weather's really hot, so it'll be really hot in Charleston too. It's just a few hours away from us driving, but we're in Raleigh and it's hot here. Charleston, it would also be like muggy and buggy. And I know some people in Charleston who said that the water, like the beaches, were basically like hot bath water at that point. It's like, oof, that sounds awful. So yeah, we decided to have a staycation. And I had taken Thursday and Friday off of my day job too. And with that, corporate America, end of quarter, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to not take time off because I do need to also give myself like that time to decompress. And I know I just took a trip, but like you might know, sometimes vacations aren't really like a complete rest for your mind. But I was like, I'm going to, instead of taking the Thursday and Friday off, I'm going to do half days. I'll work in the morning and I'll take the afternoon off. And that way I can get stuff done around the house. I can finish like unpacking, cleaning, putting my office together because I had just moved into this new space when, right before I left. And I was like, I'm just going to kind of nest almost. Like I just want to settle in. And it also just so happened on Tuesday or Wednesday, like 5 o'clock on the dot, I saw an email pop up on the side of my screen that said, we have some last minute cancellations for the Triangle pop-up market on the 5th of July. We have limited spots, but first come, first serve. If you'd like to attend, you know, we have a space for you. I immediately, like it probably wasn't even 60 seconds from that email coming out that I replied, I'm in. And then I wrote back, it was like, just a reminder of what my business is. I assume they have those details already in their system, but I love the market location at the Museum of Art in North Carolina, which is a beautiful outdoor space. It's hot obviously here, but the space where they hold the market at the museum is like a grove of trees that's very shaded. The last time I was there, it was a windy but warm day, and the sun never like directly hit on the booth that I was in. So it was never like unbearable being there. So I thought, you know what, this could be a summer market that I can do. And assuming I get in, let's go forward with it. So I got a response back. Yes, you're in. Yay. So I have a market next weekend, which is super exciting. I did this to myself, but I'm very excited about it. But it made me realize all of the stuff that I have been preparing for markets since I started my break has mostly been big items because I wanted to do things that I wanted to do. And a lot of my smaller items are like my pet adoption kits or my mystery boxes. And those things, not that I can like churn them out, but I was really feeling this need to like make some of these patterns that I had not made yet, or just be really creative with certain things. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have lots to do. So this became the perfect opportunity for me to jump into the Share the Love challenge that is from the Cozy Buckeye and Stacy Makes. They came up with a challenge where crafters, crocheters, knitters could tag each other, primarily on Instagram, but there are YouTube videos that are coming out about it. Obviously, here I am. And share 5 or more free patterns that they have not used before and that they will try, follow the maker, and share that maker's information so that it just kind of spreads this community within the Instagram crochet fiber art space. And I loved this idea. And I was like, I hope someone tags me. And Christina Loves Yarn tagged me. So thank you, Christina. I was so excited. I was going to do like a, if anyone wanted to tag me, I'd love to participate. And I went through the tags that I had on my account. I was like, oh my gosh, someone did tag me. So I can do it without sounding super desperate. But now you know that I was super desperate. If you ever want to tag me for a challenge, I love a challenge. Especially if I'm like needing to add something else to my plate because I'm crazy and that's what I do. So I am very excited to be part of this Share the Love challenge, and I am going to share a handful of patterns. It's at least 5. 1 second. 7 items, if I counted correctly, that I made from free patterns I had not tried before. Some of these makers were completely new to me. Some of them were ones I found from other people tagging them as part of this challenge, or just going through my like Instagram recommended feed. I don't know if you go to that very often, but a lot of times there are a lot of like, especially if you are looking at crochet content constantly, there are a lot of makers and posts from people you may not know. And a lot of them are labeled as free patterns. So I was like, let's do this. But to add a twist to that, again, as part of this market prep, I've been doing big items. I wanted to do some smaller items. And I have been loving my bag charms, my Labubus and all of that stuff. To be fair, I do not put the Labubus on a bag because I am too obsessive about them, 1, possibly falling off, 2, getting stolen now because that's apparently a thing, and 3, getting dirty. And so I keep them behind a glass cabinet where they're pretty, and it's actually behind my chair at my desk, so they just look at me as I work all day long. And when I'm on meetings, people just see them staring at them, which, if you know Labubus, they can be a little creepy, but I love them. So anyways, I've been on my bag charm kick. And again, from my previous Japan recap video, I did get a few additional bag charms while I was in Japan. And I have some I haven't shared yet because that'll be in my next Tokyo recap video. But anyways, I wanted to take a spin on this challenge and do smaller plushies, turn them into bag charms. So that's what we are doing today. So to kick things off, let's get started with this first pattern. This pattern is, of course, all of these will be free patterns. I do have a couple of bag charms I'll share at the end that are not free patterns, but that I had, we'll get into that. But this first one is a pattern that I had saved and just had not done yet. and I was going through what I had that was a free pattern option, and I saw it and I was like, that's the first thing I'm going to do. And it was. So without further ado, I made this little frog, and I think it is adorable. It is itty bitty. I used Premier Parfait yarn, and I did a little frog charm on it and some green beads. But this pattern is by Amateur Hour. Amateur Hour actually has the free pattern as well for the small dragon that I have as my small dragon option within my market booth and shop. And it's a great pattern. I love it. I have made, I don't know, probably 50 of them at this point, if not more. But I had this pattern saved and I just thought it was so cute. And I actually wasn't sure how big it would come out to be based on the picture, but it's itty bitty. And I think perfect with this little charm and the little beads on it. I just got these on Amazon, so I'll do a link. It might actually have come with a different clasp, and I took off the keychain part and I kind of mix and match the different clasps that I have, but I'll have it linked in the description below. I have whatsupcupcakecrafts.com that has all of the patterns that I use. I have linked within there. I have supplies that I use, my favorite yarns. It goes to my Etsy shop, so definitely check that out if you're looking for any of the information within this video. I will have this linked. And yes, this pattern is from Amateur Hour, and I just love their free patterns in particular. I don't even know if I have, I'll have to check if I have any paid patterns from them, but I should check that out. But they do have some like great free patterns, and we will be revisiting them a little later in this video. But starting off, the first few, and I'll tell you when it changes, I'm going to charge $8 for these bag charms. Just normally I'd probably charge $5 maybe for this frog, but you know, the time to put on the various glass beads. I do use glass beads, not plastic ones. And the other materials, I'm going to do $8 for this first set of bag charms that I share. And so I made 2 of these guys. I'll probably make 1 more before the market. I have a pegboard display that I will use at the market to showcase all of the bag charms. I also have like a carousel display stand, but I don't think it will give a good enough view of the items where if they were on a pegboard, you just see like straight up front all of the things. And I think some of these things are really cute, so I really want to showcase them. Probably my next crochet business vlog, maybe next Monday, I will hopefully have more of a breakdown of what my booth is going to look like, because I do need to make some changes. I have been working on kind of revamping what my booth is also going to look like for the fall. This market in particular is a little unique in that unless the weather kind of requires it, tents aren't allowed. So you're kind of generally positioned around like trees. That sounds weird, but there are trees like equally spaced within this grove. It's an art museum. It's very aesthetically pleasing. And with each tree, there's a vendor on one side of the tree and a vendor on the other side of the tree. So you don't have just like a square space. It's kind of like a more fluid space for your tables, because if you had like a 10 by 10 space, you would be in the walkway. So that being said, I have to play with my display setup a little bit, but I will have some sort of like pegboard to showcase this stuff. That is the first item that will be on said pegboard. Second item, this is not a new to me maker, but I forget that they have free patterns, and I had actually downloaded or, you know, saved this pattern previously and just had never used it. And I had thought about putting it maybe in my mystery boxes, but it is All from Jade's Tiny Whale. This will be another $8 bag charm. Just got some buzz. I use Premier Parfait. It comes together so quick. I made 3 of them, just different colors. This would be great to actually like bring to all of these. I feel like would be great to bring some yarn to your market to work on, and maybe just your bead supplies, to, you know, attach the charms and the chains and all of that. But really fun, cute little make, satisfying, and I hope that those will be a hit because I think they're adorable. So that's from All From Jade. This next pattern is new to me from this designer, Nemo Crochet. And I have used Kirby's before that I kind of did a combination of patterns to make them for my swing buddies. But again, I wanted to do a bag charm version, and I actually had gotten a bunch of little enamel charms to make stitch markers from them, but I had so many that I was like, this could be really cute again on a bag charm, especially with a little Kirby. So again, Nemo Crochet, and another fast make. This one's a brighter pink. I'll probably do them in this pink going forward because then it's easier to show the contrast of the cheek color, or the blush. So yeah, I got 2 of these, $8, has the little enamel charm and some beads, and they're adorable. I did get these oval eyes. I originally got a pack of them from Amazon, and it was like different sizes because you couldn't just order one size, and I figured I'd figure out which size I needed for the majority of my projects. The oval eyes, honestly, I primarily use for Kirby. Every once in a while, I have some other character that requires an oval eye, and I can dig one out from that collection. But I went through the supply of these eyes very quickly, so I ordered some from AliExpress because that was the only place where I could find a larger amount in one size, and I could pick the size. It took like 2 months to get here. I even was ready to file a report that it was lost, and they were like, nope, you have until July for it to show up. Maybe it was 3 months. It was a very long time, and they arrived while I was out on my trip. So I'm happy that they came. It took a long time, but if you're looking for oval safety eyes, go check out AliExpress, but just be prepared to wait. Otherwise, you might want to just get a multi-pack from Bezos. So $8 little bag charm. Again, I think it'll be cute. I usually have people really excited when they see that I have Kirby swing buddies. So I think having a little bag charm of Kirby will be nice. I know the Switch 2 just came out. I don't know if, I know you can use Switch games from the original on your Switch 2, but I don't know if there's like plans for a new Kirby. I just think a lot of people like Kirby. All right, next up. This is a pattern from QB Crochet, and it is a mini bee. I have another bee pattern that I use, I think from the Cozy Stitch, as like the primary bee that I sell at my booth, and it's very popular. I actually usually don't have enough of them in stock ever because I forget that they sell out kind of every time I have them, but they're bigger, and I think I charged $12 for them, if not 14 because of the size. So I've been wanting a small bee, and I had this pattern saved. Once again, it's on their Instagram account as a free pattern, but it just comes out so adorable and cute. I actually originally was going to make it with fuzzy yarn, but it came out so tiny that I was like, this won't even fit in like the makings for an $8 bin, so, or, you know, display. So I made this one, added again a little bee charm and some glass beads in yellow and black, and I think they're really cute. So these will be, again, within the $8 range. That being said, we are going to move on to the $10 item. Summer here in North Carolina becomes the time when you get the most delicious, early summer I should say, strawberries. So Crochet with Bay has a little free strawberry pattern. I once again made it into a bag charm. I added this little strawberry enamel charm and some glass beads, and I made 3 of them. It's such a cute, fun pattern. I think she does eyes and everything on hers, and I don't know that she does the white spots, but I decided to forego the eyes, but do the white speckles, and I love it. I think it is adorable. And this one will be $10. It just takes a little bit more time and comes out a little bit bigger than the rest of them. So this will be first on the $10 lineup. And actually it might be the only on the $10 lineup, but let's get to the next item to cover that. And I'd love to get your feedback on these items. This is another new to me pattern designer, Yarngles. Obviously it will be on the screen, but it is a lemon. How adorable is that? I think this one might be $12. It's bigger, like considerably bigger than the strawberry, but I didn't put any beads on it. Maybe I do need to put some beads too as an accent. I think it's adorable and super fun. Just a cute little blushing lemon, and I love the little leaf. But yeah, so I was thinking $12 for this one. Let me know what you think. $12 with beads, without. Should I do 10? Anyways, it was fun to make. Really like this pattern, and I'm kind of enjoying like making the little fruits and stuff. So maybe you'll see more of that coming up. But just a happy little lemon, perfect for this bright summer weather, and makes me want some lemonade. The last of the free items or crochet patterns that I found was another one from Amateur Hour, and it is a rubber duck. And I think that Cozy Buckeye had actually recommended this in one of her free pattern videos. If not, because it's Amateur Hour and I was looking for a duck, I remembered that they had one, or I found it while I was looking at something else. But I obviously their patterns are tried and true for me, so I was like, let's do this. And I think it will be fun again for those Jeep owners that love to duck people. I don't know. You know how they put the little rubber duckies with their Jeeps. So I made a couple of them. It's, again, a quick make, a little bit bigger item though. I was actually kind of surprised as I was making it how big it was coming out. But I thought about looking for a smaller one, but I was like, no, I just like it too much. So this is the last of the free patterns I'm going to share today. But I actually have a bunch more that I will probably share in a future video. So if someone wants to tag me again, I know I don't need to be tagged, but yeah. So I would recommend all of these patterns. They were perfect market makes in terms of size, effort, amount of yarn used. I think that they would be great with or without charms. Without charms, definitely some of these could go in like a $5 bin. And I have not had a $5 section before. I think the lowest I've had is maybe 8, possibly 6. And I just, again, like get so into finding patterns from all over that I usually end up making a lot of bigger patterns and have to kind of scale back as I'm like getting ready to actually go into a market, realizing you've made some really big things. You should probably have some small things. So I've been trying to get better about that, of having a good selection for all to be able to shop and pick from. But I think having a little bag charm section will be really cute and popular at the market if it's anything like what I've seen of just bag charm popularity in general. Granted, I just came back from Japan where like bag charms are everywhere. But I mean, I have them on all of my bags too, but maybe I'm just an exception. Anyways, let's get into a couple of other patterns that I have that were paid patterns. But first, let's close out this Share the Love challenge. So thank you again, Christina Loves Yarn, for tagging me in this challenge. Thank you for Stacy Makes and the Cozy Buckeye for putting this challenge together. I think it's such a wonderful way to really promote other creators within the crochet community. And it's kind of getting me to like get my butt in gear to finally post my positive potato pattern. I would be doing that this week, but I'm in frantic market prep mode. I do need to make some of them for that. So I'm hoping that as I'm making them, I can like take the photos and maybe just do a quick little pattern tester call. But let's tag some other makers to get them in on the fun if they haven't already been tagged. And this is completely optional. You do not have to respond to this call if you do not want. I just thought it would be fun to do a little shout out to some of these makers. So first up, Tabs at Safari Stitches. I would love to see what free patterns you're coming up with. And also Anna at Quackhouse Crochet. She is a lovely follower of mine, and I have been enjoying her posts on Instagram recently, and I think that she could have some really fun free pattern finds that she'd share. Last but not least is Britt from Nerdy Girl Crochets. She recently started a YouTube, and she already has a solid Instagram following and is a lovely human. But I've just started chatting with her as I was preparing for my Japan trip because I was watching some of her videos and commenting on some of the things that she'd been making. And so I would love to see her participate in this if she so desires. But also, she kind of got me hunting down some more anime manga items while I was in Japan. I do not know much about anime and manga aside from like Sailor Moon. When I was a kid, I would see it on TV, but I wasn't really familiar with it. And honestly, I was more into the Ninja Turtles. I was probably too old to be into the Ninja Turtles, but I loved them. Anyways, my kids are really into One Piece. And so they had already like tasked me with hunting down some One Piece stuff while I was in Japan. But after talking to Britt and her talking about her love for anime, I was like, I should follow. My children are feral. I was thinking I should look up some anime that I might want to be following. And actually, I should have asked her what she recommended, but I did not think of that before I left. And so I just started looking into various stories and characters that kind of fit the aesthetic of what I like to read. And that's mostly like mystical fantasy kind of things. So I found Witch Hat Atelier, Demon Slayer, and Frerin. I found another one, but Magus of the Library. I don't know. So I got a few anime manga books of them. I'm going to give them a go. I actually started reading the Frerin. I really need to look up how to say this. And I was enjoying it thus far. So I was reading it on the plane. And yeah, so just wanted to also give her that shout out of like, thank you for opening my eyes to that. And drop me some recommendations of anime/manga in the comments if you have them. And Britt, if you're watching this, because I should have asked you that. And now I'm like, well, what does she read that she loves? So let's, yeah, just do a little shout out to her and tag her in this. All right, let's keep going with this video and other things that I was working on. Still on the bag charm theme. So the cupcakes that I shared last time, there's like a bird going crazy behind me. I finished off making them bag charms. I talked about that's what I was going to do with it. So hold on, let me share that with you. All right, I might have put like a little bit more love into this one, or I just might love it a little extra because it's a cupcake and I'm What's Up Cupcake. But I love this little charm, and I did some color coordinated glass beads. So I had 2 of these that I made previously that I was making into charms, and then I went ahead and I made another one in blue. I will hopefully make one more. Honestly, I'd love to have like 3 or 4 of each item that I have as a bag charm. Obviously, I have 3 of this guy, 3 of the whales, 3 of the strawberries, but I have 2 of everything else. But that pattern is actually from, I think, Therapy on My Hook, but I'll put it on my screen. And it is a paid pattern. It's part of a dessert pack bundle. And there's other things I want to make. There's a chocolate chip cookie. There's a macaroon. I just haven't made anything else because I saw cupcake and was instantly like, I have to make the cupcakes. So I will be making other things from that bundle. It's a great quick makes pattern selection. All of them are fairly small, like that cupcake size, and that is in Premier Parfait. This next pattern was kind of inevitable. I do not like using felt in my plushies. I have to sometimes because that's what like the eyes call for, or whatever the additional kind of decor of the plushie. So when I saw this pattern, I was very excited because it was a version that did not require any felt, gluing, cutting, whatever. All right, I made 2 variations of this. First up is the full body sitting Labubu. I love it, and it has the like squinty face, which actually is one of my favorite faces of the Labubus. And if you are a Labubu connoisseur, this would be most akin to the Have a Seat collection. I have 3 Have a Seats, and they're my favorite. I like the colors that they come in, and they do also have like the open eyes, but these just were really adorable and fun to make. They do take some time. So I probably will charge $20 for this as a bag charm. Maybe 18, but there's a lot of little pieces and little details like the inner color of the ears, the sewing of the faces. You are making the face, making kind of the hood for this, sewing it in. Like there's just a lot of steps to this. And honestly, working in such small stitches with Premier Parfait as like a small chenille yarn, my soul died a little as I worked on these, but it was a very satisfying, like completed project. It just took some time. So I somehow made 3 of them because at one point I was like, I don't know how many more I can make of these without losing my mind. And I did it. Good job, me. But then I was like, you know, I'm going to make a different version. And that version will just be the head. So this will probably be $10. And I put on them a color coordinated little charm. I got those charms from AliExpress and it looks like they're no longer available. I was really bummed because I was like so happy with how they looked with these that I went to order some more and the listing is like it never was. So I'm guessing they got in trouble and had to pull the listings. But I made 2 of them. I hope to have at least 1 more, if not several. It is a lot faster, obviously, not doing the full body. I'd say that the full body is really where it can be soul crushing when you're working with a very sheddy yarn like a chenille yarn and such fine little details. But I think they're worth it for the look. And I hope people like these at the market. So yeah, those are my little Labubu charms. And I will have the name of the pattern designer on the screen because I forgot to write it down for this video. All right, on to another crochet plushie, completely off the topic of bag charms now. I was selected to be a pattern tester for the Crochet Grove new T-Rex pattern that is just coming out today, which is Sunday, but for everyone that will be watching this on Monday or later, it's out. Yay! But this is the little T-Rex. He's so cute. I love his face and his little chompers. I'm not gonna lie, this broke my brain, but only because I was fresh off the plane from Japan and I was jet lagged and I had overcomplicated this in my head. I was like, that meme of Julia Roberts, just like the math calculations wandering around me. And I had to post to the tester group, like, what am I not understanding? Because you guys are all posting the cutest makes of this. And I have not seen a single person ask a question of this. And it was the light bulb moment where I was like, oh, it just lays over it. You're not doing anything weird with it. Check out her pattern. It is so adorable. And I actually, again, do not like working with felt, but I freehanded the teeth, in case you couldn't tell, but it was easy peasy. She does have a file, so if you do have like a Cricut or Silhouette, you can use that for it. But I haven't tackled cutting things with felt on my Silhouette yet, and I don't know that I'm ready to, so I just cut a strip of felt and did some little teethy marks in it, and it worked. So it's very cute. This is a Lee's Veludo yarn, so it came out a little bit bigger. I'm guessing I'd probably sell this for like 30, 35. It does take some time, but again, my brain was also broken on this part, so I'm going to make another one and see how long that actually takes me, and then use that as the basis for my pricing, because it should not have taken as long as it took me. I might actually add some whites to the eyes too. I can't decide. I don't know if anyone else did when they did their pattern. I do think he's adorable as is, though. I'm just staring at his eyes and I'm like, should he have whites? Let me know. What do you think? Okay. Beyond that, as I mentioned, I did a lot of other like design stuff for my business this week. It just like fills that piece of me that needs the break from holding a crochet hook sometimes and just diving into like other mediums. So I made a bunch of stitch markers. I have some really cute designs, stitch markers, but also amigurumi sticks. I love some of the new beads that I got and just kind of the combination of things that I made with those. So I am going to share some footage of going through that process. The amigurumi sticks, it takes me some time to like come up with the right combination of beads to put together for them, and then assembling them, gluing. I glue the pieces down to make sure that they are secure on the sticks and so on. So let's watch a little montage of some of that work that I did this week.
Whisper something I could hear. We'll wait for the weekend, shooting a deer. We sit in silence with your rifle by my ear. I'd eat venison forever just to keep you here. But you push me out, I keep you down. You touch my mouth and lie like you mean it, and I'm halfway home, stuck in the middle, and you call my phone, speak like a riddle, and you break me to pieces and skip town. God, I love when you let me down. It's so bad, I shouldn't take it. If they heard you laugh, that would explain it. And I'm so sick of loving you blindly, but you know where to find me. Left your bracelet, I said it was bells. When I keep secrets, I do it well. It's exhausting and embarrassing as hell. Don't have to tell the world the truth, but goddamn it, tell it to yourself. But you push me out, I keep you down. You scream, I shout, but I'm not gonna leave it, 'cause I'm halfway home, stuck in the middle, and you call my phone, speak like a riddle, and you break me to pieces and skip town. God, I love when you let me down. It's so bad, I shouldn't take it. If they heard you laugh, that would explain it. And I'm so sick of loving you blindly, but you know where to find me. 'Cause I'm halfway through your pockets, I still love you. say it now, you are not my home. These cuts never stop bleeding. I just wanna start healing. And I guess I'm gonna say it now, you are not my home.
I decided to do mine as a dinosaur theme, as you can see here. I want to nominate 3 others to participate in the challenge. First, I want to nominate Skylar from Doodle Noodle Creates, Anna from Mystery Crochet, and Jessica from Busy Beans Crochet. I hope you all have fun with this challenge and spread it on to other crocheters.
Sir. Some other things that I worked on this week, I made those stitch markers, but I also made phone charms, and this obviously does not help because you can't see it, but I, again, found some Labubu charms on AliExpress that I now can no longer purchase because they vanished. But I had seen these little like phone charm cords at some point, and I just thought they were really cute. So I made some little Labubu phone charms. And I had done these, why can I not hold this in place? Nope, I'm showing you the back. There we go. So they come in different colors, and I did like beads that color coordinate with them. I had done similar to the phone charm, but stitch markers of these, and I had them in my Etsy shop, and they like got snatched up. But I wanted to do phone charms because I want a phone charm for myself. And these came in really tiny. I did not realize they were going to be this small. So I was like, well, that would be perfect for a phone charm. And let me do the same thing where I'm going to make it a mystery bag, because that's how Labubus are sold, as little blind boxes. So this is a blind pouch of a phone charm. So you can get one of, I think, 6 different colors. It might even be 8. I was going to list these on my Etsy shop, but I also want to bring some to my market next weekend because I think they'll do really well there. But I have quite a few, so you might see these on my Etsy if you're interested. I might hold on to a handful of them for my in-person market. I haven't decided yet. I do have a few more that I can make, but this is, again, I can't get any more of these charms at the moment. So I'm just going to have to hold off on making more of those until I can. But I also did some more safety eyes. I love painting safety eyes. It is time consuming because I do a lot at once in order to have enough of like each size. But I do them in like small batches where the likelihood of me being able to replicate the colorway that I did is very low because I use the materials that I have at that moment and I make it. I don't write down what I did with this because a lot of it's like eyeballing and experimenting with the colors. So these are kind of like one-time drops, but these are all now on my Etsy shop. First up, Blue Nova, which I don't want to say because I'm going to constantly have to like contradict myself. This might be my favorite safety eye that I've ever made. It just has these like iridescent shimmery stars on it, and I think it is gorgeous. And they're like pink and gold and green, and then this like blue background that I think is beautiful. So I made these or painted them before my trip, and I hadn't gotten around to posting them because I wanted to post kind of several colorways at once. So I waited until I got back, but they are now officially on my Etsy shop. This is Silverleaf. It is a heavy silver glitter for the like primary colorway, but then like green glitter and green iridescent like mica powder. You can see on the back, the base is green, but the silver is really predominant in the eyes. So I think these are really pretty, and I might use them in one of my dragons that I am currently making. But those are up, as well as this one, which is fine. It's fairy dust, and it's just like a really pretty light purple, like a lilac iridescent. I was showing them kind of googly-eyed. Light purple iridescent color. And gorgeous. Then this one, rose quartz. It is hard to see the color in this, but it is pink rosy. Like, I don't know, I feel like the pink doesn't come across as much in the camera, but it is like a rosé kind of color and just like a crackly glitter look. I think this would be so pretty on some like mystical kind of creatures. And then last but not least is blue sky. So this one I need to like wipe off. This is actually one for my use. So the one that actually is part of this set, this is the one I'm keeping because I didn't think that the base color was thick enough. Like I should have done another layer on this one. But the ones that are in the shop are lovely. But blue sky, it's like an iridescent blue, shimmery, just very pretty. So those are my new safety eyes that are now live in my Etsy shop. As I mentioned in my Japan recap video from just kind of an overview of the travels, I got a bunch of really yummy Japanese candies, like every flavor of Kit Kat imaginable, Milkies, Black Thunders, whole bunch of stuff. So if you order from me and you have a particular candy that you would like just write it in the comments of Kit Kat, Black Thunder, Milky, whatever. I'll throw in or something, an assortment in there. I have various Kit Kat flavors. I got strawberry, peach, matcha, chocolate matcha. Like, again, if you're looking for something in particular, throw it in there, and if I have it, I will share it. Just keep in mind, it is hot here now, so chocolate melts. So you might be better served with like a Milky or a Haichu, which I also have. Whatever, you let me know. Otherwise, I will pick according to my feelings that day and the temperature outside. I have so much more to do this week before my upcoming market that I signed up for / got into at the last minute. So I'm excited about all the things that I'm going to have and having kind of a new layout, but I'm also a little anxious of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. We do have Friday off for the 4th of July. And aside from like just some maybe swimming time and fireworks, I plan on probably doing a lot of market prep. And honestly, I have to tag a ton of items at this point. I have a lot of like administrative stuff that I have to do. So I need to finish making things. In particular, I want to make some more Fury Dragons. I need to make more items for my mystery boxes, more for my pet adoption kits, and then some of my like positive pickles, potatoes, and fine apples. I want to make all of those. And of course, in classic me fashion, I have a very ambitious list of additional things that I was like, oh, well, now that I'm in this market, I'm going to make a pink pony finally, and I'm going to do this and this. And I'm realizing that that's not possible. So I'm going to try and just give myself grace and get things done that I can actually do within a reasonable amount of time. And keep in mind that I have to tag, I have to update my Square inventory, I need to charge my Square reader. I just printed out a bunch of adoption certificates because I was running low of those. I did find, I think, my new loaf cat. So if you've been here, you may have seen, I've been trying to find a different cat to bring to markets, maybe in addition to the loaf cat, but to go in an adoption kit, because I feel like loaf cats are very saturated in my area. And I think they're adorable, but they also can be a little mind-numbing for me to make. So I wanted to come up with another option for a cat pattern to go in an adoption box. And I found one. I think I'm really happy with it. I think it's really cute. It is not going to be the same price point as the puppies I'm doing in my adoption box, which was part of that intent too, to have like the same price point each, but I can't make it work with the time it takes to make them and the size they come out to be, but I still think it's a really cute option that could potentially replace my loaf cats as my adoption item. So stay tuned. That will be in the next video, and I cannot wait to share that with you. Beyond that, I will probably have another crochet video update for you next Monday. I hopefully will have a character haul video from my trip to Tokyo. I got a bunch of stuff from Studio Ghibli. I went to the Ghibli Museum. I went to the Izu Teddy Bear Factory where I did like a build a Totoro, and it was such a fun experience, and my Totoro was so cute. But I'm going to share some of that. I also got a bunch of Sanrio things. A lot of the stuff that I got are gifts too, so it's not just me hoarding things for myself, though some of it is, because treat yourself. But I figured while I was there, like, and this is the home of a lot of these things, I'm going to buy some of them while I'm there, and I will share that with you so you can see some of the fun things that were available over there. Because honestly, I see a lot of them too when I'm going through like Etsy and AliExpress, and I've been curious as to what is like real Studio Ghibli products or Sanrio products for some of the specialty items versus like knockoff made up things that like AliExpress sellers might have. And I am happy to report that a lot of them are legit. There are some really weird things that you can buy that are actual branded merchandise from these companies. But I digress. That will hopefully be a video for later this week, assuming I can get the time together to film and edit that, because I have a lot of market prep to do. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for being here. Please, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe so that you can follow along. I cannot wait to share the details of my next market that I'm going to be doing, both the prep for that market, and then ultimately I will have the market day video and results of how that goes. Fingers crossed the weather cooperates, because we are very much in the midst of the southern summers and storms that can roll through in the afternoons. So that being said, I think that a lot of people and market organizers expect that, so they just kind of adjust these schedules accordingly. But this is I'm approaching my first year mark of having this business. So this is new to me, and I have not been a market vendor in the heat of summer before in this area. So, I'm going to find out how that goes, but I am approaching the 1-year anniversary of me kicking this off. Basically, July is the anniversary of me saying, I'm going to start this business. So I am excited that it has been 1 year and that I have all of you here following me today. I only started the video or YouTube at the beginning of this year. I've had my YouTube forever because I used to do Irish and Scottish dancing, and I would share videos of that life. But as it relates to crafty stuff, this is new for me. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this content. Tell me what you were working on while you were here today, and if you had any yummy beverages that you were enjoying. So thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye.